President Trump. Earlier, the president tweeted this. Why is Attorney General Jeff Sessions asking the Inspector General to investigate potentially massive FISA abuse? Will take forever, has no prosecutorial power, and already late with reports on Comey, etc. Isn't the IG, the Attorney General, an Obama guy? Why not use Justice Department lawyers? Disgraceful, close quote. Let's go to our Justice reporter, Laura Jarrett. She's over at the Justice Department for us. I take it you're now getting some response from officials there, including a statement from the Attorney General himself.
Yes, Wolf, a rare statement from the Attorney General after months of tweets and public humiliations and dressing downs. The Attorney General is now breaking his silence and firing back against the president. And I want to read you the statement that we just received from him in full, Wolf. He says, "We have initiated the appropriate process that will ensure complaints against this department will be fully and fairly acted upon if necessary." And what he means there, of course, is the referral to the Inspector General's office here at the Justice Department on the so-called FISA abuses situation from the Nunes memo, if you will. But then he goes on, Wolf, and this is really important. He says, "As long as I am the Attorney General, I will continue to discharge my duties with integrity and honor, and this department will continue to do its work in a fair and impartial manner according to the law and the Constitution." So, Wolf, I can't convey enough to you how rare this is after months. You remember the tweet storm back in July when the president was going off every minute on the Attorney General. He never said a word, and today is the first time he has broken his silence, Wolf. And when asked, I talked to a close source to the Attorney General about what was the difference today? Why today would he break his silence? I was told it was because the president went after DOJ attorneys. And for him, that was something of a red line. And he felt like the president was just too in the weeds, weighing in on how DOJ attorneys, according to the president, should be prosecuted for FISA abuses. And for the Attorney General, enough was enough, Wolf.
He went after the Inspector General of the Department of Justice, Michael Horowitz, who was named back Attorney General by President Obama, but earlier to other senior positions was named to those positions by President Bush. He's a career specialist in this area. Laura, thanks very much. There's a lot of anger, Gloria, at the Department of Justice. This public humiliation by the President of the Attorney General of the United States, not the first time, but by name, and then ending that tweet in all caps, disgraceful. It's extraordinary.
Well, it's not only against the Attorney General, it's against the Department of Justice. And I can only imagine what Laura is saying is something that made Sessions finally decide that he had to respond. And by the way, the Inspector General, who was approved unanimously by the United States Senate, who worked for both Republicans and Democrats, is also someone who routinely makes criminal referrals. So if he finds criminal misconduct, wrongdoing, then he can refer it. So, let him do his work.
Yeah, that's exactly what his job is, Gloria.
The Inspector General.
The Inspector General, he receives these sort of complaints. He undertakes an exhaustive examination and makes a finding. If, as Gloria says, it requires criminal involvement, then it's referred to the criminal division for prosecution. If it involves ethical, it goes to the Office of Professional Responsibility, and they take care of it. That's what he's there for. And I think this is what put Sessions over the edge. The tipping point was to attack a career prosecutor who's doing his job earnestly. To say that it was a disgrace that this is the way it was being handled was just too much for Jeff Sessions, and good for him for protecting the people of the Justice Department. I think he's got to get a lot of hand clapping in the Justice by people sitting at their desk when they hear what he said.
A lot of folks, Gloria, as you know, they think the president would like Sessions to resign, to quit, so that he could bring in someone else who would be more acceptable to him. He hated the fact that Sessions recused himself from the Russia probe, and as a result was unable to protect the president.
Right. I mean, look, we've been talking about this since the summer. When will Sessions leave? The president doesn't like him. His anger is still there about Sessions recusing himself and not telling him in advance that he intended to recuse himself from the Russia investigation. I think there are a lot of people internally who are advising the president that he shouldn't fire anybody right now that right now is an important point in the Mueller investigation, and the president should not be doing anything with his attorney general. But we'll have to see where this plays out, because the attorney general is responding to the president saying, no, you don't. No, you don't. I'm sorry, you don't get to do this to my Justice Department. And we'll have to see. What happens next. I think the ball is in the president's court right now.
It is a pretty serious humiliation by the president, of the Attorney General of the United States, and others at the Department of Justice. The president's making these statements, and these tweets. These are official presidential statements calling all of this disgraceful. It's pretty.
We saw him do the same thing with McCabe, sort of creating a hostile work environment so that McCabe retires early, and maybe that's what he's hoping for.
Former FBI director.
Former FBI director.
Deputy FBI director.
Yes, exactly. And maybe this is what he's trying to do. If he can't fire him, maybe he can humiliate him out of his job. But Jeff Sessions has said today, I work for the Department of Justice. I have to protect the integrity of the Department of Justice. There are clear rules, Mr. President, about communications between the White House and the Justice Department. You've overstepped